Um, and then we'll do a brief introduction. And so this is going to go out to our podcast and the Nevada Farm Network group. So we're going to do, this is a very special Farm Talks. Oh, this is going to be our first dedicated one on sales and marketing channels for agricultural producers. And so we're lucky today to have Brad Scribner from Made in Nevada, Grown in Nevada, and Dylan J. Davidson from the Nevada Department of Agriculture. And so maybe if we can just get started with a brief intro from you guys, and then we can take questions from the group.
Sure. How's it going? My name is Brad Scribner. As Jordan just mentioned, I am the Community Project Manager for the Nevada Small Business Development Center, which means a lot of different things, but really the essence of why I'm here is that I run the Made in Nevada and Grown in Nevada program for the SBDC. So I guess we'll get into a little bit more about what that means as we go along here.
Hello, my name is Dylan Davidson. I'm the Senior Trade Officer for the Nevada Department of Agriculture. I work with farmers and producers on domestic and international outlets for production. Also do policy work for the department as well.
Some fantastic. Thank you both for being here. So as I mentioned up top, this is a special edition of Farm Talk because we are promoting sales and marketing channels to farmers, trying to help identify additional channels that can be used for our Nevada small producers. And so what we're going to do is just sort of have an open forum. First, if our guests can give a little introduction about how their programs support Nevada producers and how a Nevada producer can get best set up for either international trade or made in Nevada. And then we'll take some additional questions. So maybe Dylan, if you want to go.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. So our industry development and marketing program at the department offers an array of different options and resources available to small, medium, and large size agribusinesses throughout the state. We have domestic and international marketing, which allows us to sit down with any size of producer and kind of guide and see what your values are in terms of the direction you want to go. And, is the direction local in the farmers market? Do you want to expand more on the state side and get into some retail markets, regional markets, or even the international side of it in terms of exporting? So we can assist any producer on those levels. We also have our Women's Farm to Food program, which allows women producers and entrepreneurs that either have a value-added food or beverage product or thinking about developing one, and it allows them to go through a 15-week course on developing that product as well. So we kind of assist on all steps from kind of building that plan to executing that plan on the direction of the producer.
Great, terrific, thank you.
So some of you may be familiar with the Nevada Grown program, which existed for a lot of years under Ann Luhila. She decided to step away from that program last year and thought that it would be a good fit for the Made in Nevada program because we essentially connect, promote, and support businesses throughout Nevada. We have a little over 600 members and now about 200 growers and producers throughout the state under the Grown in Nevada program, which we did a little rebrand on the Nevada Grown to match our other program. So essentially, like I said, it's the three pillars of what we do are connect, promote, and support Nevada small businesses. In the connection portion, we do a lot of networking events. Most of them over the last couple of years we've been doing in partnership with the Department of Ag. Dylan's helped me out a lot in putting those on, and we've gotten some great feedback just putting small business owners together in a room for that organic opportunity to kind of percolate and happen on its own. We also just launched a back-end forum for all Made in Nevada members to connect, discuss on a range and variety of topics. but mostly for that collaboration opportunity again. So there's a Northern forum, Southern, all together, grown in, Native American, made in Nevada, so that those respective businesses are able to chat with each other and see what's going on and hopefully make some valuable connections. On the promote side, we have our social media accounts, which we've got, like I said, about 600 members. So unfortunately, we're not able to do everybody every year, but we're able to do it once about every 2 years based on that math. And that is just, we take your photos of your products, your logo, your description of your business. We don't really do any editorializing of your business. We want to take your messaging and share it directly with folks that are interested in supporting small businesses in Nevada, small growers in Nevada. We also have our e-commerce shop, which has been a huge hit. It's completely free to use for any Made in Nevada member, as is it is to join. Everything we do is completely free to you. And we've got, I think, about 175 different Nevada small businesses selling on that e-commerce site now. Folks have described it to me as being kind of like a better Etsy, in that we don't take any fees. The only fees available or that will be passed on to you are the fees from credit card processing companies. And so again, it's a way, for those folks in state or out of state that want to find products that are made or grown in Nevada. It's a great channel that we're able to offer folks. Actually, one of our biggest sellers on that site is Snowball Ranch. They I think they put half a cow, quarter cow, and folks really do buy it, and they've done quite well on the website. So you might want to check that out at shop.madenevada.org just to get a sense of what we're doing over there. And of course, we have our main website, madenevada.org, which acts as our directory of all 600 members. There's also a special grown-in section of that website where you can search by different product types, location of growers, and we have the farmers market list that we've put together with help from Nevada farmers markets and UNR Extension. So we're doing our best to just kind of consolidate the information needed for consumers and then pass that along to them. And then, of course, the support side of that is the Nevada SBDC, which houses the Made in Nevada, Grown in Nevada program. That's Nevada Small Business Development Center. I know that acronyms get thrown around a lot. And actually, our food systems advisor, Kelly Kelly, is here with us, and she would be your main point of contact to really start or grow that business that you're looking to build.
I have one question on that. Does someone need to be an SBDC client before signing up for Made in Nevada?
So not at all. Under the agreement that you initially sign with Nevada SBDC, it's completely no cost and confidential. So we don't do any promotion of your business when you're an SBDC client. We understand that a lot of our clients maybe don't want that publicized, that they're seeking help from another organization. But a way we can get around that is the Made in Nevada program. So they're not mutually exclusive. You can be a Made in Nevada member and not be a client, or you can be a client and not be a Made in Nevada member. But with being a Made in Nevada member, you agree that we can promote you. And like I said, we basically scan your website. We take everything you give us: logos, product photos, product description, business description, take stuff from your website. We don't want to change any of the messaging that you're doing. We just want to pass that along to consumers who are interested in supporting local.
Okay, I'd love to just jump right into it. If anyone has any questions for Dylan or Brad, I've got some more, but I'd like to see first if anyone from the group does.
Yeah, Brad, I have a question. Is anybody successfully using the Made in Nevada shop to sell produce through the mail?
That I'm unaware of. Most of our successful grown-in members that are selling on the shop are typically selling meat. I could look into that for you. I don't believe so. There are basically we throw you the keys to your e-commerce site. So you pick the products, you set the price, you figure out how you want to ship it. There is a pickup option, which I would think would be more viable for someone selling fresh produce. So you could always set that up as well. But offhand, I'm sorry, I don't have any clear examples for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's these food order systems where you can order a week's worth of food or whatever, and it comes in an insulated box, and you put it in your freezer, and then you pull out your meals as you go along. I was just wondering if I'm trying to think of a viable way to do that with produce and still keep the quality um, by shipping it through the mail, 2 day shipping or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And if you can figure out a way to guarantee that, we won't stand in your way. There
Right.
are, we originally it was the Made in Nevada program generally was set up for small artisans, manufacturers, things like that. Now with Grown in Nevada, obviously we have a different array of needs. We just try to act as that channel for you. We don't stick our nose in any way. We just want to, be a place where folks who want to find and support local businesses can go on there and browse. So if you find a way to, get that 48-hour shipping and everything's going to arrive fresh and cold, we won't stand in your way for sure.
Okay. Mostly I'm asking is I don't want to reinvent the wheel if it's already happening. I'd like to connect with somebody that's successfully doing that.
Okay.
And that's kind of the point of my question is if there was somebody doing it, how are they doing it and with produce? So but thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. And I know that you are a Grown in Nevada member already.
Right.
So let me connect with you after this, and I can give you some different contacts that I have of folks in a similar position.
Okay, terrific.
Sure.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
On that,
Want me to go? My volume is weird. Are you guys hearing me? Because I'm not hearing you now. Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd chime in because Reno Food Systems is doing their first ever online store because we have a bunch of dried herbs that we are kind of sitting on. So we're going to make dried herb tea bundles as well as dried herb packets. And as I'm on this call, I'm like, oh, I can put them on the Made in Nevada platform. And so I was going to offer that it would be kind of cool just to follow up with like how many I sell through Reno Food Systems website or through your guys' things, just in terms of trying to help farmers understand potentially what like the benefit could be, or to think ahead for next year around Christmas time or whatever that looks like, So I'll do both. I'll create our own online store, and then I'll do a Made in Nevada. With that in mind, how long does it take to create it? Is it kind of like one of those things where I could do it in a day, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the time available that you have or your drive to get it set up. But we make it pretty simple.
Okay.
To sign up to be a Made in Nevada member, you would go to, and I can put all these links in the chat here. You would go to madenevada.org/join. You fill out a pretty quick application. It shouldn't take you more than about 5 or 10 minutes. You'd select that you are a Grown in Nevada member. Complete that application. We usually get back to you within about 48 to 72 hours with some information about the program, about with our logos, with your registration link to the e-commerce shop. And so that's when we do contract with a third party to run our shop. So they'll see that you are a member, they'll accept your registration within about 24 hours. Then once you'll create your login, you'll get into the seller dashboard, and on the left-hand side there is a knowledge base that walks you through every step that you need to set up that store. So it would definitely be possible to do it within 3 to 4 days of initially signing up, I would say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just thinking of like Black Friday or just like those shopping days that happen around the holidays, and they're kind of coming in hot. So I probably will prioritize getting it set up next week, I guess, which I can do.
And I appreciate you bringing that up because we are actually running a couple different sales through the end of the year. One is the Small Business Saturday sale, and then right after that is the holiday sale, which I don't have the exact details on me right now, but it's about 10 or 15% off all products. And we cover all of the cost of those discounts. So we set aside a certain amount of money each year to be able to cover those sales so that our businesses aren't actually losing 10 or 15% of their profit. We're just covering the difference.
Cool. And then this might be too like nosy. Like
Not at all.
my people who know me call me like a goat, you know, like they're I'm a Capricorn. So, and my grandma would say it's curiosity, not nosiness. But how are you guys getting funded? Like, how are you able to offer this service or whatever, just in terms of its sustainability and how it works? I kind of always like to understand the back end.
Yeah, sure, of course. We are, like I mentioned, a program of the Nevada SBDC. So we get Nevada SBDC receives funding from the Small Business Administration, from Nevada System of Higher Ed, from a lot of different grants that we file for every year. We won a pretty large Wells Fargo grant a number of years ago to help set this up, and that sustained us for the last few years. So it is all government or grant funding.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, I never bill the program or the e-commerce shop as it's totally going to change your business. It's just something else that we're able to offer, and we are, still growing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, one of the objectives of this is to talk about how diversifying your markets can be essential to being profitable and sustainable as a small business. Along those lines, Dylan, could you point to any best practices or success stories of producers working to increase their domestic or international trade?
Yeah, a lot of times we work with a lot of small producers, and they kind of only focus on the local farmers market or like in their hometowns type of markets. And when you think of like either international or even outside of, say, Northern Nevada markets, it kind of scares them, and they think that it's not possible or they can't do it. But in terms of exporting, I mean, if a producer wants to sell a case or a pallet of a product, they can send that internationally. They can send that across the country into different markets as well. So we work with a handful of distributors and wholesalers on the domestic markets, and then also importers on the international markets looking for specific products. And a lot of times we'll bring in those domestic distributors and wholesalers for B2B meetings in Nevada, so either Southern Nevada or Northern Nevada. And then the same thing on the international side too, is we bring buyers in from international markets to meet with different producers. And so they could be looking for fresh meat, they could be looking for fresh produce, they could also be looking for consumer-oriented or retail-ready packaged foods as well, or beverages. So we've worked with really small distilleries and breweries to expand outside of Nevada, either just in the regional, so covering Utah, Arizona, or Idaho, and then also hitting into some of those international markets as well.
And so if a producer wants to be on that list or go to those meetings, I mean, how are they gonna hear about that?
Yeah, I mean, social media, the department posts a lot on social media. We kind of plan, so we already have what we're going to do in 2025 planned out now. We share that on our website. I also try and reach out to a bunch of people, but obviously I can't reach out to everybody. So using contacts like Brad, like Kelly, to come kind of assist on that and bring those folks to me. I can then help walk them through the process on how to get more involved in some of those B2B meetings.
That's great. Megan, a question?
Yeah, I just had a curiosity. When you are, connecting businesses for international export per se, do you work with them in supporting like navigating legalities, like working through ports and paperwork and making sure everything is, regulated appropriately? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Megan. So you bring up a good point. A lot of Nevada producers haven't exported before or are new to it. So the beginning and first thing I always encourage is an export readiness training, which we do offer through our third party organizations. And it kind of just walks you step by step of what you need to be able to export, helps you make sure that you have all the licensing, all of the export documentation, everything that you would need to be successful in sending your product on the international market. But yes, we do help those producers step by step from the farm to the ports.
Great. Any other questions from the group? Dylan, is that under agri.nv.gov/export certification? This is the link.
No, that should take you to some of the certifications that you need, but they're not necessarily required. So that one's going to cover if you're trying to export like potatoes, onions, melons, because those need phytosanitary certifications that come from one of our divisions. So it kind of, when it comes to ag products in the international market, there's two different umbrellas, one for fresh produce, one for, I guess, three umbrellas, one for meat, and then one for the retail products. So all of the information should be, our program used to be called Global Trade and Economic Development. We just changed it, so it'll probably be under both names for a little bit until we catch everything with the name.
Awesome. But so pushing that link to the network, that's where people would find.
Yeah, absolutely. Has my contact, has some of the documentations, and has a list of events.
Terrific, and we will post that. Additional questions? I've got some more otherwise on just sort of general strategy, but want to let actual producers ask first. Okay. Well, if either of you could point out kind of, what makes someone successful when they come to meet with you first? What is it that you like to see already done before someone comes and says, hey, I want to reach out to some additional markets, or I want to sell on Made on Nevada?
I think for us, it's hard to say because we have programs that you don't even have to have a product yet to having a product. So I think we have the flexibility of helping anybody from an idea stage to conception. I would say that if a producer is ready to sell their product beyond a farmer's market, I would say just to know your sales price. A domestic sales price is going to be different than an international price. And that's also something that we talk about to those that are interested in the international market, is that your pricing is going to be pretty significantly different for those international markets. But really, I would say just having a solidified website, having the details of your products, the ingredients of your products, making sure that if it's a food product, that you have all of the food inspections and certifications needed, not only for Nevada, but for domestic sales.
Yeah, and I would echo what Dylan just said. As I was saying earlier, we take what you've got and we just share it with our audience. So if you have a website set up, if you have high quality images, if you have good descriptions, we'll just share that directly with those folks who are following us and who are visiting us. So yeah, I mean, while we don't, if you're ready to sell at a farmer's market, we'll be for you. And then if you want, kind of anything above that, Dylan is definitely your guy. So yeah, just, have your business set up as thoroughly as possible. And then our requirement is 51% or more made or significantly transformed within the state. I'm guessing most of you here definitely qualify for that because you're growing things in Nevada. So yeah, I would say, probably 100% of you on this call would qualify for the Grown in Nevada program.
Jordan, just to add there too, a selfish plug, I would say we have our governor's conference on agriculture next Wednesday in Fallon, and we're going to be covering everything from an economic outlook of the food and ag sector in Nevada to business resources for food and ag and beverage producers, to permits, licensing, fees that the NDA implements. And then we'll also have leadership from the state on that have an impact on food and agriculture in Nevada, talking about some pressing issues facing Nevada as well. So I think that would be a good opportunity to invite producers. I know Brad and Kelly are going to be on one of the panels to really talk about all of the opportunities and kind of get into the nitty-gritty as well.
That's great. Fantastic. Yeah, I think we have promoted that on the network, so hopefully we get lots of attendance. Will there be a virtual opportunity, or any of those things going to be live streamed or recorded?
They will not. Just the capabilities and the structure, because we're kind of doing this in combination with the Nevada Cattlemen's. It didn't work out for that this option.
Okay, so gotta be there in person. Got it. Questions? Do our apprentices have any questions? Thanking on.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You're unmuted now, so you should be good.
You're good.
Okay. Oh, there I am. You might have touched on this, but I had my headphone out for a second. When people sell stuff through you, is it directed back to their website, or do you sell on your website, and then how do people get reimbursed?
So essentially we throw you the keys to your own Etsy shop. You can think of it like an Etsy. So you get to pick the products, you pick the pricing, you pick the shipping. We take no fees. The only fees associated are credit card processing fees, and everything goes straight to you. So you'll set up your business bank account, and the money goes straight to you. So we really, I mean, for personal reasons, I don't want to be involved in the transactions of businesses to consumers. So we just give you the platform to sell and get out of your way as best we can.
That's cool. And are there any limitations at all?
Yes, I was actually just emailing with a company called Dr. Bob's CBD. And while CBD is legal in all 50 states, the company that we contract with does not allow CBD products on their platform. So it's just one of those policies, unfortunately, that we're kind of unable to get around. They feel a little bit slighted because that is part of the deal of being a Made in Nevada member. But unfortunately, you know, with the company that we've contracted with, we can't do CBD or obviously marijuana THC products. And that's across the board for SBDC and Made in Nevada as well. Not the CBD part, the THC part. We can do CBD advising. And you're welcome to be, if you're a CBD business or any of you are in here, join the Made in Nevada program. But unfortunately, I can't give you a shop. Other than that, limitations, it's a little bit harder for services to set up on Shop Made in Nevada. Obviously, it is for purchasing products, but we do have some services on there that like put packages together. And there's Dine by Design Picnic that does, you know, you can pick a day and they'll set up your picnic in Tahoe or whatever you want to do like that. So it is possible. And like I said, you pick the product, you pick the price point, shipping or pickup, and we just try to get out of your way.
Oh my gosh.
On terms of just like the marketing or promotion, I know you said you try to do like one post per every 2 years for a customer. Are there other channels that, you know, Made in Nevada kind of generally is advertised on there? Edible Reno Tahoe, you know, those kind of platforms?
We did advertise with Edible Reno Tahoe for, I want to say, a year to 18 months. But we ended that contract recently because, you know, as a nonprofit, and like I said, we get a lot of our funding from government, and it's just honestly the purse strings are a bit tight around here sometimes. So we're unable to do a lot of paid media. I would love to do more. I rely mostly on earned media for those larger promotions. But we do, and I kind of misspoke earlier. I was thinking pre-Grown in Nevada. Now we have our Made in Nevada social media accounts and our Grown in Nevada social media accounts. And with fewer Grown in Nevada members, we're able to more frequently cycle through them and promote them on a more frequent basis. So we are on Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Grown in Nevada exists on Facebook and Instagram, which are honestly the two most the two that we get the most traffic on. And visually appealing. People want to see what they're buying. They want to see your yummy veggies or fresh beef, and so we're able to share through there.
Brad, question. So are you able to charge tax for retail items from through the website? And then does it track that and give you a report so you can pay
Yeah.
your sales tax?
Yes. So as I understand it, there's nothing you need to worry about tax-wise. That's all taken care of through the company that we contract with. And I can
So it is like Etsy. They take care of all the taxes, send it to the state.
Yep.
Okay. Very simple. Okay. That's great.
Jordan, to hit a little more on the promotion. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
Sorry, I was just going to say I put my contact information in the chat too. So if anyone is interested on getting some more details that I don't have on me right now, I'd be happy to send that along for you.
Jordan, I was just going to add a little more on the promotion side of things too. We launched a campaign earlier this year called Taste of Nevada. And so we, as the Department of Ag, are working on the local, domestic, and international markets on a Taste of Nevada campaign. So we're working with local producers to do tastings in some of the grocery stores around northern Nevada and in southern Nevada. We're doing some on the international side as well, and some on the East Coast. So we're working with different producers from across the state to gather product, and that includes like their logo, the website, and then some actual product that would be in the packaging, and then also some to sample as well, to really try and gauge consumer feedback, but then also to kind of do that with some of the distributors and wholesalers as well, and then connecting the two of them. So it's kind of a different side of the B2B meetings. The company themselves don't have to be there to do it. We kind of do all the legwork and that promotion, and then connect ultimately at the end the wholesaler, the buyer, with the producers as well.
And so I imagine you've got that set up for this year, but for people who want to include products in that, maybe in upcoming editions of that, reach out to you directly, or is there a process for that?
Yeah, and I'll put my information in the chat as well.
Perfect, and we'll get that shared out to everyone. And would that include, is that pretty much exclusive to like value added product, or would that include fresh?
That can include fresh produce. It can include meat as well. So one of the ones that we did most recently had all of the above. So had value added, had specialty beverage, had meat, and some vegetables.
That's awesome. That's very, very cool. Any other additional questions from the group, or do any of our other producers want to talk about maybe where they've seen success in alternative marketing channels or alternative sales channels? Ray or Rodney?
Would also be interested in hearing challenges too. Challenges
Awesome.
that producers are facing, so that we can try and help them overcome.
One of the challenges that I have is just reaching my market economically. So, I mean, I'm 130 to 150 miles away from Las Vegas. It's 300 miles round trip. Do the math at 67 cents a mile. Being a small farm, can't necessarily come up with the quantity, always the quantity to be consistent at the markets in Vegas. transportation is a real issue for me, even though it's just, 150 miles doesn't sound that far away, but um, if I leave here with $1,000 in retail product, half of that goes to transportation. And so support in that area would be great. For instance, um, with the new equipment grants that the USDA, or not USDA, NDA has, and I've been approved for equipment grants. Um, uh, uh, Alex Pope has been also approved for his, and part of his is I think he's been able to work out some kind of transportation vehicle with cold storage. That's another aspect of the transportation that's a challenge. Um, you know, finding ways to create um, uh, um, a pickup and delivery service. It's really hard for me to, you know, leave the farm early in the morning, make a market, make enough at the market, um, and then drive back. I'm away from the farm. So if there are ways to work with other groups or people or other farms, even if I can get my product there and then have it sold, I don't know. I'm just trying to be imaginative here, and figure out how to make that happen. I really need to um, get into the retail market for my produce. I've been selling things through Home Feed Nevada, and although the prices are great there on a wholesale level, small farms are really uh, um, economically better off if they're retailing their products. So any thoughts in that direction would be helpful.
So it sounds like you need to be connected to a distributor that wants your products for the retail markets and that will come pick it up for you.
Yeah, a co-op of some kind that's right. We need to generate that. And sometimes that means we got to put the cart before the horse, right? Sometimes we have to develop that um, sales and transportation service in order to encourage farms to either grow produce or new farms to come into existence. If they know that that system is there, that's a big obstacle. And Alex and I have been kind of doing that. He comes up and picks up for his store, and then he uh, from me product. He also will pick up Home Feed Nevada for me, and then store that and deliver it in a day or two after he picks it up. Um, we just need more support because that's really hard on him. He's got things to do, and I've been shuffling my Home Feed Nevada, the fees that they give for delivery. I've been shifting some of that into his pocket so that help to offset his cost for transportation. So, and maybe we're just not smart enough to figure it out, and maybe a young guy like you might be able to help in that.
I wouldn't say that you're not smart enough. You're rather smart. I think it just takes a village to finally get something. Nevada is such a large state, and a lot of it is rural. So it's being able to connect those rural areas to the more populated areas for markets. So it's definitely a challenge that I've heard over the 6.5 years that I've been here that we haven't solved yet, but I think we're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, there's a couple little small farms here besides myself, but they are very small, and they just sell at our local market, local little farmers market. I don't really go to that market because it's a lot of effort for $100, right? It's a 3 or 4 hour market, and it's just not worth the dollars that I get for the energy put into it. And the other thing is that I tend to just kind of dominate the market, and then those other small farms have less of an opportunity, if that makes sense. I've got bigger fish to fry in other areas. So, but that might encourage them to expand their operations and thereby create a bigger opportunities for them to grow and for us to work together. And I think that's the key, right? It's hard for one farm like myself to transport produce down, but if we had 3 or 5 farms all transporting, why the costs go way down. Historically, when I was shipping to MGM resorts, I was spending $20,000 a year just to ship product once a week. That's a big cost. So you just might know things that I don't know because I'm not interacting in the city and in the area. Dylan, you might know things that I just don't know is available.
Yeah, I'll connect with you offline, Ronnie. I have some ideas that might be a good fit for you.
Okay.
That's great. That's what we love to hear. Anything else, Ray? It looked like you had something you wanted to add.
Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
Rodney's hit the nail on the head. Transportation in the state of Nevada for small farms or small business, anything like that. The actual physical delivery aspect is something that we lack statewide. When the internet went to, well, when it skyrocketed and we can communicate, instantly with everybody, but the actual physical delivery is something. Now, I hate to go back in years, but in 1996, Custom Gardens Organic Farms started a CSA program, and we had 30 boxes a week going out of this farm. 9 of those boxes were shipped to Las Vegas overnight. Now, I hope you heard my words, overnight. They were picked up here at the farm and delivered by 8 o'clock in the morning in Vegas. We also had pickup here at the farm for distribution in Lake Tahoe area. And this service also went as far as Elko. And they got bought out. Unfortunately, but the concept, I think, is still there. They were running small pickups, little Toyota pickup type things on these routes. The Tahoe route went to Minden, Gardnerville, Reno was a hub for them, and Vegas was a hub for them also because they did the same thing in Vegas. And of course, they picked up messages, they picked up everything that needed to be shipped, packages, what have you. Now, their shipment from north to south was done very uniquely. The hub out of Reno, they had one of the long van, I don't know what you'd call it, 9-passenger, 12-passenger van type vehicle. And then they had one out of Vegas, the same. And they would come through Silver Springs at 5 o'clock in the evening, pick up the 9 boxes going south. And the 2 trucks coming up, one from Vegas and the one from Reno, met in Tonopah. And all they did was switch drivers of the vehicles. And of course, everything from the south that needed to go to the north was there in the morning to be distributed, out of Reno or out of Vegas, as the case may be. I think the economic side of it was the size of vehicles and all. Not having been in the transportation business, I'm just throwing out these things that I saw work, and whether or not it was profitable for them, I don't know, but it was great for the farmer, for the businesses. They could ship packages, all that type of thing, very economically. Example, our CSA box. I think we paid $7 or $9 per box to go to Vegas overnight once a week, and we included that in our CSA 14-week program for that.
Is anyone aware of anyone doing that similar? Oh, okay. Thank God.
I haven't heard of anybody doing that today. It just seems like that went away. FedEx is, $38 for overnight to Vegas. All of those things are just not economical for the farmer. And I don't know how that works for everybody else, but it's not for the farmer. And the hubs in Reno and in Vegas, they had it set up to where their little vehicles went out of that hub out to the outlying areas and came back in a day. So anything that they picked up could be delivered to elsewhere the next day, overnight.
So it sounds like NDA needs to set up a delivery service. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, that would be nice, but the state is not going to do that, of course. I'm sure. I'm just giving you a little bit of history of what was really a nice situation for the farmer back in that period of time. And with the internet today, the coordination of that, I think, would be, fantastic. You don't have to get on the phone and try to contact somebody. You do it by message, and it's instant. So again, the actual transportation, and we've tried transportation. Great Basin Co-op tried transportation from Fallon and in different areas into their hub at one time, and it was not very cost effective, I don't think, and all. Again, this transportation service was not refrigerated, so you had to pack everything in ice, and we did that. We made bags of ice that we packed into the CSA box and kept it cold overnight.
Dylan, it looks like you had something you wanted to jump in on that.
No, I was just going to make a sarcastic comment that Brad would probably have better luck getting a grant to buy a refrigerated truck to start a transportation service.
But that truck is not economically feasible for the distances that we have to travel to get from farm to a hub. And that's where these small pickups were much better at that. And they went out and were back in the same day. So it was not as if your product was sitting out there for 48 hours. It was 24.
We do this on the international side, so I don't understand why I can't do it on the domestic side. It's just more challenging. But on the international side, a small producer can't fill a whole shipment container. So I get 10 to 15 small businesses together to fill up one container, and then you can ship it overseas. So it makes it more economically feasible for small producers. It just on the domestic side becomes a lot more challenging.
Well,
That's correct.
from in my area, Cisco comes up here and delivers to the restaurants twice a week. I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I've approached them in the past. US Foods used to come up here as well. So they come up here with a truck full of product and they leave empty. But their excuse was to haul my stuff back to Vegas was, oh well, insurance per reasons, right? So they need some kind of incentive to for that backhaul, even though it might be a small pallet or a pallet. Some way we've got to give them an incentive to make this worth their time economically to do this, right? And they may also have problems with delivering at a different location that's not their own port. But I see reefer trucks all the time come by here, on the 93. So
Yeah, that the coordination problem is definitely one we've seen and had discussed, and just becomes more and more of an issue as distances get longer and quantities get smaller. So something to consider, and thanks Brad and Dylan for engaging with that, because I do think that is a consistent theme that we've seen. I want to open up any final questions or thoughts, or Brad, if you want to talk about that issue, since we get a chance, maybe things you're seeing on your side.
I mean, I'll be quite honest. I don't come from an ag background. I don't have a lot of knowledge of the industry generally. I've, took over this program a little over a year ago. But anecdotally, what I've seen in that small amount of time is a real groundswell of meetings just like this, where we're getting growers together with resources to try to figure out some of these problems that have been, plaguing. Ray said that was 1996. Over, about 30 years now, we haven't had any kind of in-state distribution. And while Dylan's sarcasm is appreciated, um, I see it as, it's going to have to be more of a grassroots thing, where I like, I don't think that, small loads of pickup trucks are outmoded by any means. I think that it just takes people who are willing to get together and put these systems in place. We don't, not that we don't want to work with the big shippers, the Ciscos, et cetera. But if we want, to give small producers their due, it's going to take meetings like this one where we all get together and we try to figure out these solutions. But I have seen, especially UNR Extension is really making a push in the South. Kelly had to drop off, but she has been hard at work putting these some food systems in place. So I do see, maybe not in the near future, but in the future, some of these solutions hopefully coming to bear some fruit. No pun intended. So
yeah,
I wish I had a better answer for you. But yeah, all I see is that there are groups of people coming together that really care about these issues, and that's what it's going to take. I don't think that large corporations are going to, come to the rescue on this one. We got to figure out something on our own.
yeah. And another vehicle that comes up every day, with the exception of Sunday, I believe, is our mail truck, and it's a private contractor. I had talked to them about potentially towing a cooling trailer that they could easily pick up, take to Vegas, drop it off, but then the cooling trailer had to be moved to wherever product was at, and then they would again pick it up and re-deliver it to the farm. But again, some kind of an economic incentive is over just their delivery fee, I think, is going to be needed to motivate them to do something. And then there are also restrictions on the mail carrying truck as well that the Postal Service puts on them. So that makes it a challenge as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique problem for a unique state. It's in any direction you go, it's going to be a 3 or 4 hour drive. So we need to set up almost like a Pony Express type system, like Ray was talking about, where we're going each end of the state and moving product around. But I think we're trying to do our part in just getting these groups together. And again, Jordan, thanks for inviting us to come speak today. But I think it's going to take kind of a groundswell of those small producers to figure this out, because obviously nothing has worked so far. So it's going to be up
Well,
to.
and Brad, I think you're absolutely right. This is the best scenario is the grassroots by the farmers to solve this problem. And some of that issue comes in that there's, especially for my area, not a large enough quantity of farmers to make it worthwhile to accomplish that goal. So that's where I say we got to put the cart before the horse on this, because I think if we can develop that co-op food movement system, then it will be a huge barrier for would-be people that wants to start a farm, or really small producers that are just doing local stuff to move their product outside this county. I had another thought and it's left, so I think it was important.
It's a great one. Thank you, Rodney, and thank you, everybody. I really appreciated the conversation. Brad and Dylan, I'll make sure that everyone on the network has your contact information, so anticipate getting a lot of calls about that. And then thank you, everyone. This will go up on Spotify as soon as the recording's done. So really appreciate everything everyone's doing to contribute to the Nevada farm system.